All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this webinar with Selena Soo. I've been counting the days to be able to talk to you because one of the things that I think authors need the most is a really rich author network. And not
Yeah,
only do you know about how to do this, but you wrote the book on it, and I'm going to
yeah.
say the book on it.
Thank you.
The book on it. I'm going to get to that in a moment, but I want to introduce you first to our community of authors and so that everybody knows who you are.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna just do the bio read. Selena is a publicity and marketing strategist for visionary entrepreneurs, experts, and authors who want to reach millions with their message. She's helped clients and students get featured in places like the Oprah Magazine, Forbes, and Inc., and land interviews on popular podcasts and national TV. And many of Selena's clients have become industry leaders with 6 and 7 figure businesses, raving fan bases, and hundreds of thousands of followers. And her signature approach comes down to building a powerful and long-lasting relationships with influencers and the media in a thoughtful and authentic way. And Selena is a former New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker now, but now Selena's in Puerto Rico. But
Yeah.
what I really want you to know is that Selena has finally written a book that is going to help so many authors do what I wish all of them would do. And that book is, let me get the title right. I got it written down here.
I have the
Oh, you got it. You got it. Okay. Rich relationships create $1 million network for your business. If you're an author, you might be thinking, that's not, my goal is not to create $1 million network. I've read this book, so I just want to say this right off the top. Um, I gotta say, Selena, it wasn't what I expected.
Oh, okay. Tell me. Tell me.
I thought you were gonna give me a bunch of good tips and tell
Mhm.
me I knew you had a framework, a couple
Okay.
frameworks actually. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get that. It's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. And then you sent it. I'm like, what? This is the most comprehensive.
Right. It's so
I
comprehensive.
mean, what you didn't you left nothing out.
It's so thorough. So, not to say that a big book is a better book because it's all about quality first, but like this is my book, like it's thick, right? This is like, let me just like put it together. Here are like three other books. Like my book is like the same size of like three little books.
And but here's the thing. It's because there's so much useful content. And
Yeah.
you get to just the scripts alone.
Yeah, the
It's
script.
helping just the scripts alone are
Yeah.
worth getting the book so that you
Mhm.
know how to talk to people. But all the troubleshooting, all the everything, we'll get into that. I am a super skeptic about books because I've been
Right.
writing them for a really long time and been in publishing for 2 decades, and
Wow.
I
Yeah.
was blown away, blown away.
I'm so humbled. Thank you. Yeah, I really put everything into this book. And, I was speaking to a friend of mine who he read the mini version. And actually, if people are interested, we can give them the mini version right away. It's just 35 pages. But, there's a lot of networking books. The most famous ones are written by men, like Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, Keith Ferrazzi's Never Eat Alone. And those are both fantastic books. But my friend did make a point. He's like, the fact that you're a woman and also a person of color and someone that is attuned to people from all kinds of, different backgrounds and leanings, and I identify as an introvert too, it definitely gives just different kind of depth and perspective. Like you're saying things that nobody else has said before. And some of the things I talk about are also about the relationship with yourself. A lot of networking books are about like, okay, be a conference commando or take these actions or this is how you do small talk. And the book is just so much more than that. I know we'll get into specific things, but I'm just very excited for people to read it because I don't think there's a book quite like this out there
There
yet.
isn't.
Yeah.
No, well, there will be in next month, right?
Yeah, next month.
Next month, yeah. So I've introduced you. I'm AJ Harper. I help people write books people love and rave about. And I'm so honored that you're here. I do want to do a little housekeeping. My
Yeah.
team, Sade and Laura, are here if you have tech questions. So please hit them up. I won't be looking at the chat. So if you give me a DM, I'm not going to see it, just so you know. But you can get with them and they will absolutely help you. We'll be giving links to some wonderful information about Selena in the chat. So please pay attention to that. And we will be taking questions later. I'm so excited to have this conversation because you're a master of building rich relationships and authors really need to know this. They honestly don't know how to go about it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think authors know how much they need it.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. Me.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm constantly beating this drum, but I don't think that it's
It's the
loud
most
enough.
important thing. I mean, there's a lot of things that are important, but I think that without these rich relationships, it's so hard to get the book out into the world, right? If we're just selling one book at a time and we're just focusing on our existing audience, we're only going to go so far. The most successful authors have a network of dozens, if not like 100 plus people that are like committing to support them in getting the book out into the world. And I'm doing some pretty unique things with my book launch and book launch team that I definitely want to dive into, give people some fresh ideas to sell their books. But yeah, I mean, even have like a wasn't for this amazing network that I've leaned on. And I think that, so when it comes to networking, there's kind of three main phases, right? There's like building the network, nurturing, and activating the network. And so for some of us, maybe we have built a network and it's like, okay, I know people, I got my contacts on LinkedIn and I went to school with these people. I'm a part of AJ's community, right? So it's like knowing the people, right? That's one thing. And then the second thing is like, okay, are these relationships that are nurtured? Are these relationships with depth? Are these relationships where people are familiar with your genius and are excited about it, right? And nurturing is something that takes patience and time and, effort and presence. And then there's the activation piece because there are people that like have the network, they've nurtured it, they are those givers. And then when it comes time to their most important projects, goals, and dreams, they don't know how to make an ask. They don't know how to rally people.
We get it frozen. Give her just a moment. While we're waiting, everyone, if you want to put in the chat where you're joining us from today, we'd love to know where are you beaming in from? New York City, Philly. Oh, hey, Marianne. Brookline, there's Margaret. Oh, Jenny, look at, I was all these, now I'm gonna get stuck seeing all these faces and names that I know so well. She'll be back in a moment. I think she had some internet connectivity issues. There she is.
Oh, so well, I'm back. I apologies.
Okay, tech happens, man. We're
It
just
happens, but I'm
humans.
back. But so basically, I was thinking to build, nurture, and activate a network, and also just be someone. I think that we all have people around us that care about us, that want to see us win, that have witnessed us on the journey. And there's a lot of fears. And how do I ask for help? I don't want to damage the relationship. They probably get hit up all the time. Is this ask worth it? And I really want to support you in leaning on your network and activating it. And actually, sometimes, actually, many times when you lean on your network, you're actually strengthening it. But if you're not utilizing your network, you're not acknowledging it, you're not bringing them in to the journey, it's actually a weaker network. So I think a lot of people are like, let me save up my ass. Maybe 2 years from now, three
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago, let me not ask for anything. But that's actually weakening your network, not strengthening it. Obviously, there's a lot of nuances, but we can definitely get into the specifics of that for sure.
Oh, you know what? That's me, Selena. I save up
Yes,
my
AJ. Yeah.
Yeah, I save them all up. I'm just a hoarder. I'm an ask hoarder.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm doing it because I don't, I feel like I got a one chance. So
Yeah, okay.
is that, so reframe that for me. How do I need to think about it differently?
Yeah, so there's different types of ass. There's, small ass, there's medium-sized ass, there's bigger ass. But the thing is, a lot of people want to feel like they're a part of your journey, right? And when they have supported you, when they are offering advice, making connections, they feel more invested in your book. Like I'm a part of it, right? Just like if you had a book and you were featuring other experts in the book and you highlighted them on social media and obviously in your book and the acknowledgments, and maybe you did a virtual book launch party and invited them to speak at it. Maybe you showcase some quotes of theirs on Instagram, you loop them into your newsletter. So it's also, and it's not just asking, it's like including people into things. Join my book launch team, come to my party. I'm hosting an intimate conversation about the deeper topics of the book. I want to do market research with you. So maybe if the asking thing feels scary, maybe think about it as engaging. How can I engage my network more in what I'm doing? How can I share with them what I'm doing, right? So it feels like it's not just me, it's about us. And also with many of you, your books are really about spreading a big idea, leading a movement. So it's not just about help me. It's about let's get this message out into the world and help more people and transform lives together.
I love that. That's so, yes, I love that. So I do want to, I mirror what you're saying. I've seen the same thing. The most successful authors are those with rich networks. And
Yeah.
that goes for fiction too, by the way. And
Okay. Yeah.
the authors I've seen that have really rich author communities, networks, whatever phrase you want to use, have a completely different career. I'm
Hmm.
talking, I'm talking night and day from
Yeah.
unknown or very little known to multiple book deals, New York Times best-selling. Um, every single doorway is open to them. It's just a completely different reality, and that's just from forming relationships.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So you call it rich relationships. Can you define, you do this in the book, you define rich relationships, but can you define it for everyone here?
Absolutely. So, a rich relationship is one that massively enriches the quality of your business and life. And rich relationships have three core characteristics. So, number one, they create more abundance for you, right? This could include financial abundance, right? Directly or indirectly. A rich relationship could be that best friend who's on your side, who sees your highs and lows. It could be your therapist, honestly, who helps you get your confidence back and shatter those limiting beliefs so that you're, out there doing your great work. A rich relationship could be a referral partner that sends business your way. It could be a colleague that's a couple steps ahead of the journey and gives you the shortcuts. It's that mentor who is that ultimate guide. It is that super connector. In the book, we talk about 10 primary rich relationships, and those are several of them. Oh, there's also the super fan, right? Who is just so excited to promote you, whether or not they are a core client inside your program. They're always singing your praises from the rooftop. They're the first to show up at the event. They're so excited to buy that copy and leave an Amazon review. So as you can see, there's many different types of rich relationships. So they create abundance for us. And these rich relationships are connected to your goals and dreams. These are people that want to see you win. These are people that can support you on that journey. And last but not least, your rich relationships help you become the best version of yourself, right? Like we are, they say we're the average of the five people we spend the most time with. And it's true, the people that we spend time with, we take on their qualities. It's like the ultimate life hack, right? And so, you want to be around people that you admire, you respect. There's values alignment. You learn and grow in your presence. You feel like you can be your full and best self with them. So that's how I think about rich relationships.
You just started talking about the different types. Yeah, I even wrote down all the 10 types and I have a sub question about it, but I think
Yeah.
a lot of authors they don't know what to do with the relationships they have. So I love that you break down the 10 types of rich
Yeah.
relationships because
Hmm.
authors need people to help them navigate the publishing world. And
Yes.
is this cool? Is this good? Is this the right thing? And then they need
Yeah.
people to help promote them. And then they need
Right.
other people to give them feedback on their work. And then they need other people to help them get past gatekeepers and so on. So I love your 10 types because it helps you think, wait, okay, they're not all in the same group. They don't all have the same purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. And in different phases of your journey, you might be leaning on different people. At one point, like the mentor is really important. At the other point of your career, maybe it's more about, you've cracked the code, you've got your work, but you need promoters, right? So media, referral partners, people with influence, people that host events, conferences, people that do bulk buys. But yeah, there's so many different types of rich relationships. So I think it's valuable in the book to like look through the types because you might be forgetting, you might be only focusing on one or two when there is like this much richer menu that you might want to consider.
Yeah, and it helps you think about the ask, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So in your 10 types, one of them, the promoter has four subtypes. So I
Hmm.
thought that was so cool to think about it like that. And so many authors are thinking about that, the relationships in terms of promotion. Why do you make the subtypes for promotion?
Yeah, because I mean, promotion is broad, and there's a lot of different ways that people can promote you. There are people in traditional media that have, TV shows, podcasts, radio, newspapers, all of that. And these might not necessarily be your friends, but they're people that you can send pitches to, right? And then there's other people that are close connections of yours that have personally experienced your work and they really believe in it. And so they may be the promoter that's a referral partner, and there actually is like a formal business relationship where they send ideal people your way and then they get to earn a commission as a thank you. There's so many just different kinds of promotions. And then there's also sometimes like the celebrity client that you have could also be a promoter, like when they tell people, on their IG stories or in their newsletter, I work with this person. It's like that's major promotion. So I wanted people to understand that promotion is very broad and doesn't just look like one thing.
So all the breaking down you do, and y'all, I cannot emphasize enough. And I don't blow smoke. I'm not a BSer. Like this is
Yeah,
so comprehensive
I know.
that I've no, but it's good because I think the ultimate thing that I think, at least for authors, the ultimate thing that holds them back is fear. And I think the more that you can just break it down into tiny steps
Yeah,
and explain it's no, let's look at it like this. Okay, let's compartmentalize this. So it just feels more doable just as you go through the book. Oh, okay. And so
yeah,
I love how comprehensive it is. And I love that you didn't compromise on that. You did not
yeah.
you didn't say, okay, that's too much. No, I didn't feel like it was too much. I felt like if I read this whole thing and I do all the exercises, I think I'm going to have a completely different relationship with the way I deal with relationships.
100%. And AJ, I mean, the thing with rich relationships is we are in relationship with people every single day, talking to team, colleagues, peers, mentors. Everywhere you go, you're in relationship. So this isn't something where it's like, oh, well, one day I should learn how to be better about my relationships. It's like, well, you read it, you can literally implement it the same day, think about all the people that you email with and engage in social media. So it truly is a super skill. And, there's different skills that you can learn to be successful in business, right? Some people, maybe they've cracked the code on whatever it is, paid ads or speaking, writing, all these things, right? These are all extremely important things, like absolutely, some more important than others, depending what you're doing. But the thing is, relationships, that's actually one of the easiest skills to learn. And it's such a super skill. So you don't have to be a different person. Also, the way that I teach rich relationships, it's not about being a different person. Like, just so everyone knows, I identify as a massive introvert. Whenever I take like the assessments, I'm like 80 or 90% introvert. But I do have, a little bit of extrovert. And I am someone that actually takes a lot of initiative, right? I don't know if there's any like Myers-Briggs or personality assessment junkies. I'm an INFJ, and I've informally typed AJ as an INFP.
Oh yeah, she clocked me.
Yeah, yeah. But I think for all of us, I mean, if you're an author, you are someone that has a story, idea, a message, a mission that you feel so passionately about, whether you're introvert or extroverted, an INTJ or a, ESFJ or whatever it is, like there's a part of you where you want to get it out into the world. And that is an extrovert function. So every all the 16 personality types, they all have certain functions that are introvert and extroverted. So we all have a little bit of that extroversion in us. But I will say that to build rich relationships, you do have to be someone that takes initiative. Like this is not about sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing. It's about, I mean, the easiest thing is just like pick up this book, right? Because every step is like laid out here. It requires intention. It's getting clear on what are your goals and dreams and who are the people that are connected to these beautiful goals and dreams of yours, and literally making a list of people. Sometimes people think making a list, is that strategic? Is that transactional? But for anything that we care about, we document it, we track it, we want to make sure that we remember it and don't forget. And then it's taking the initiative to give first, to be that rich giver, to nurture the relationship, to show up, to make someone feel that they matter and that you care, right? Those are like the initial things that you do. And it's something that I know everyone here can do beautifully while staying true to who they are.
So I want to give everybody a chance to ask questions. You can put questions in, you have to hit the Q&A little button down there here in the webinar, and we'll get to your question. We can also put them in the chat if you need to, because Sade and Laura will collect those if needed. But I want to read some. I actually put this in my notes for today to read a quote from your book.
Oh, yes. I'm like wondering which one you picked.
Well, I could pick a lot, but this was important to me about what's going on with authors and what holds them back.
Okay.
So it's in your introduction. You said you don't need to, and you just introduced it with talking about introverts. You don't need to be a social butterfly or an extrovert. You don't need to be born into a wealthy family or have attended an Ivy League school. You don't need tons of free time. No matter who you are and what your strengths, limitations, and quirks may be, everyone can build rich relationships. This book will help you create your customized plan. It's a simple quote, but it meant so much to me because I know that's what the authors are feeling. Just, I'm not, first of all, almost all authors are introverts. So,
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah. So, and
Mm.
then the time factor is huge. Most everyone that I work with is a business or multiple
Yeah.
businesses or a career and a bunch of kids, and it's just challenging, you know? So, but it really t took that to heart that what you said there in the introduction, that because I just feel the barrier is so much of it is emotional, and then we let the situational stuff feed into the emotion. So, well, I don't,
Right.
but really it's about I don't think I can ask. I'm nervous to ask and I don't want to put myself out there.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that so much. So I think that maybe we can, really dive into, with authors, how they can get more comfortable with asking. So I think step one is thinking about how you can engage people, right? So as an author, how can you engage people on your journey? So I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. One thing is you could do market research. You could send an email to your list. You could post it on social media. You could reach out to specific people. Hey, you're someone that I just, really admire. I would love to brainstorm with you around the topic of my book because I want to make sure that it really supports people. It answers, questions, challenges, struggles they have. Are you open to a market research call? Or are you open to a focus group session? Or are you open to coming over to my place and I'll organize a little brunch or a pizza party, right? So whether it's one by one or gathering a group of people together, like I would like to talk to you about the ideas in this book, right? And
That's so
then,
cool. I like how
right?
you phrased, are you open to?
Oh, yeah, that's like really with my language, like when I make ask, the way that and that's why you're going to want the rich relationship scripts is it's soft. It's not like will you, which is nothing wrong, but like I don't tell people what to do. I kind of make invitations like are you open to, would you ever consider, okay, this might be a long shot, but I'm curious if I just want to run this idea by you, right? Can I brainstorm something with you, right? So it's more engaging and it doesn't feel like there's heavy expectations. It feels very respectful and open.
That's gold right there. I'm telling you, just for the scripts, the book alone, just for the scripts, especially for all these introverts. How do I say it? What do I say? What do I do? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Interrupted you. I was excited. Go, keep going.
Yeah. So, okay, so number one, we talked about like organizing a focus group or one-on-one market research conversation, sharing it with your audience or specific people. So that's one. Another thing that you can engage people with is like, hey, I'm playing with so this is more of like maybe big ideas, right? Like the content of the book. But then you could also ask people like, hey, I'm brainstorming like the subtitle of my book. Which do you like, this or the title, right? And that's an easy thing. Like you can say, hey, which do you like better, A, B, or C? And someone just types out A. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, right? You can also do polls and things like that. The reality is, the more that you reach out to people individually or in a small group setting, the more that they're going to feel special because, social media, that's for the masses, right? But it's more powerful if someone feels that there's an individual relationship with you, a direct line of communication. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't have to get on. I mean, I like to do market research calls, but you don't have to, you know, I actually, AJ is part of a special secret offer I have. I did like 65 like 1 hour like market research calls. So maybe I went crazy, but I did it. But you don't have to do that. It could literally be texting someone and it takes them like 10 seconds to think about it and text you back. So it's not a lot of your time, it's not a lot of their time, it's just copy and paste. Another thing that I like to do is like, hey, I got these like 3 book covers. Which do you like best, A, B, or C, right? Like this is like 10 seconds of their time, but they feel like, oh my gosh, I'm like on the inside. Like I saw this before anyone else, right? So we talked about like the focus group regarding the content. We talked about the title. We talked about sharing the cover of the book. Now, another thing that you can do is when the book is ready, you can send it to people and you can say, hey, you can ask them, you can say like, hey, I'm looking to share this with like a handful of people. Let me know if you might be interested in reading and offering feedback. And you can do this also in your newsletter and social media. That's good because your most passionate people will be like, yes, like Jen Kem posted, one of our mutual friends posted something like, oh, getting such great feedback from early readers on social media. And I was like, hey, why didn't you ask me? Like, I want to be an early reader, right? So just like even putting it out there, you don't have to tell people like be an early reader. It's just like, oh yeah, or like looking for early readers or starting to get feedback from early readers. There are going to be some people that are just like, hey, like I want a copy of that book, please, right? And so you have like early reader feedback. So that's number 4. Number 5 is you may get people to endorse your book and say, hey, would you be open to giving me, a one, 2, or even 3 sentence endorsement for the book, right? And they can read the book. In some cases, people appreciate it if you can give them some starters, like draft some copy that they can tweak and make their own, or give them some sentence starters. So that's another way that someone could be in the book, is that they have an endorsement that's featured on social media or even inside the book itself, right? And then 6th way is they actually appear in the book, right? You interview them and there's their story or there's their quote in the book. A 7th way could be that you do a virtual book launch party and you feature the speakers in the book, or you feature friends and colleagues that resonate with the message and kind of want to share their take on what you've done. An 8th way is you create a book launch team and you invite people and they can win prizes and they can engage, right? And then there's different things, right? Like different bulk buy packages, offering to speak to people's groups and book clubs. I mean, really, it could go on. I should probably like make a
Yeah,
list
I
of
feel
here,
I feel like you could just keep going.
but I just like, but I'm glad that we are getting granular here because if you're
Yeah.
just like, I don't know how to like engage my network. Like we already, I don't know. I think we got like close to 10 already, and I'm not even done yet, right? So there's a lot.
Okay, so I never thought about these really soft is the word. I mean, this is
Yeah.
your way. These soft ways of just starting to
Mm-hmm.
connect in small ways. I would never thought of them. I would have
Mm-hmm.
never thought of them. So then how do you build from there? So if you say, "Hey, what do you think of my subtitle?" and you've texted someone or you emailed them, then how do you build the relationship after that?
Yeah. So I think that, the best relationships are ones that have depth to them. So I think that getting some initial feedback could be a starting point, but you want to take it a level deeper. So maybe it's something like, hey, I would love to send you an advanced copy of the book to read. hey, I would love to invite you to my book launch party. I would love to have you on the host committee for the party. I'm doing a workshop around my book, and I would love to invite you as a complimentary guest, right? Doing just like one thing that's important, but it's not deep enough. Like ideally, there's multiple touch points. So I'll share a couple things that I'm doing to give you inspiration. So this applies to nonfiction books, but it could potentially, are your authors, some are fiction, some are nonfiction, or is it
It's
like,
probably like 90% nonfiction.
yeah. So I'm going to give some nonfiction ideas, but you can also adapt this if you have a fiction book. So with Rich Relationships, I'm hosting a 3-day event in New York City called Rich Relationships Mastery. AJ is coming. I'm so excited. We have, gosh, it just keeps on growing because everybody wants to come. So we have almost like 50 people coming to this event. And I'm someone that I just really like value depth and intimacy. And so I want to do like a 3-day deep dive training on rich relationships. And then we also have parties. Because I'm an introvert, on the party days, we end at 2:30, so we have like rest and relaxation time. But when you have people that are reading the book, that are learning the concepts, that are, and obviously when we're networking, that's rich relationships in action, right? It's like they feel more kind of like they're more deeply connected, right? So it's like they can really be those natural ambassadors, right? It's like, okay, I want you to actually use this in your life, right? And when you have like a party and everyone's posting pictures, that's really great publicity, right? Wouldn't it be great if, all of a sudden people are like, I'm seeing your book everywhere. Like, wait, why is everyone holding up like a copy of your book? What's the party at? Like everyone's talking about it. It's a very easy thing for someone to take a photo and put it up on Instagram stories or on their IG feed. So that's part of the publicity plan. Another thing that we're doing, and let's drop this in the chat because I think that some people might be interested in this. I'm creating something called the $1 Million Network Special, and this is a 5-book bundle. So I've tested different things and I have different packages, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. And then I also have other, additional, over time you like finesse it and all of that. And like, oh, I think this will convert better. But I noticed that there were a lot of people that like, I want to support you. And like, I would definitely buy one book, but I would actually like to buy more than one book, but I can't like spend $1,000 or $5,000, right? Is there something that's a little more manageable? And so I created something called the $1 Million Network Special. And so it's 5 books that you get. And when you get this 5-book package, you also get the Rich Relationships course. So if you, like me, are looking to create a course, right? Maybe your course eventually is $497 or $997 or whatever number feels right for you. So I'm saying like right now, and this is only happening during like pre-order for like a very limited time, but for $197, you're going to get 5 copies of the book. And you also get the course for free, and you get to create the course with me. So after you read the book, or even just a little bit of the book, I'm going to email you. I'm going to say, hey, what could I do to create a course that would help you so much with building your $1 Million network, your most successful business? What additional script would you like? What resource? What problem? Where do you
That's
get stuck? You tell me and I will create it. It will be a resource. It will be there for you, custom to you, and we'll share it with everyone, right? So, and then the other thing I want to add, AJ, is because, there's that whole saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And part of building rich relationships, like the number one, like if I had to summarize the book in one sentence, the book teaches you how to be a rich giver. A rich giver is someone that intentionally and purposely pours into their network. One way to be a giver is to give someone a gift. And a book is an incredible gift. You give someone a book and you're basically saying, you are a rich relationship to me. I value you. I
Oh
care about
yeah.
you, to see you win. And this is not an expensive gift, right? This is like, $25, right? Or on Amazon, it's a little bit less, so it's like if you're going to give someone a gift anyways, like $25, that should be something that's in someone's budget, hopefully, to really pour into the relationships that they care about. And then when they do the $1 Million Network package, they also get a book club guide, they get a companion guide, which is like a workbook. So there's like so many things. So for a lot of people who are like, okay, I want to go a bit bigger, like I want to really like support my friend, my colleague, and I want to receive the riches from this book, then they do the $1 Million Network special. And we know that like we just sell a lot of books, right? And selling one book at a time is exhausting, but it's not so easy to sell 100 books at a time. Sometimes you can, but 5 books at a time, I find that that's a really good number. So something between like, I mean, that's I don't even think you need to do like the 2 books. I would do something between $97 and $197. I think that all the authors here should consider like a bundle that is between 97 and 197. I think it's really going to fly off the shelves.
Oh, that's good advice. I know you're testing everything and you're in the moment right now in the trenches. People are loving this. I do have one quick question from Marianne Hudson. How long will the course be?
Yeah, I mean, so I already have a course on this topic, and it's one of those things where so I'm like a person I'm actually very like succinct, even though the book is big, but that's because like this could have been 3 books, and so I don't want to like overwhelm people, but I also really value being comprehensive. So I'm not sure exactly how long it will be. It's not going to be like 30 hours or anything. It's something that you could theoretically get through in a day. And there's also going to be, because people have different learning styles, right? So there's going to be, resources and just things that you can jump right to. We're going to break things up into like bite-sized portions. So I don't know the exact size, but it's going to be done very thoughtfully. And it's going to blow people's minds. Like this course is going to be so good. Like the course is designed so that somebody would, spend $1,000 on the course. And right now, the goal is, right now people can get the course and the 5 books and all the bells and whistles and things for like 197. But when we sell it to the general public, it will probably start at like 597, and maybe we have it at nine, maybe at 1,000 sometime, or maybe it gets bundled in with something else. But it's definitely going to be regularly in the $500 to $1,000 range. But if people just buy it now, it's 197. I do want to let people know that the course is not going to be ready until September 30th. And I think it's good for authors to know that. It's not because you're going to be so busy like marketing your book and doing your events and things. And people are fine with it. It's like, hey, because you're going to build the course with me. And I need you to read the book and I want to hear from you and incorporate your needs, your goals, like the specific things you want. And so it's going to be done so beautifully and intentionally. We're going to release it on September 30th. And then you have like a ton of people, because it was 197 or 97, whatever you want to do in the course, giving feedback, insane testimonials. Now you sell it for 397, 497, 997, right?
Wow, that was an unexpected gift to hear how you're breaking that down. I love that. I love
I mean,
that.
right? People might even want to be affiliates for your course. And it's like they get to make money, you make money, they spread it to more people. But you want to start with something more accessible. 97 to 197 is like a good price point.
That is great advice. That is great advice. I think people don't know what to charge right now in the times we're in.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to get to a question from Shirley, but I also have another question from the book that I wrote down that I wanted to make sure I asked you. Shirley Lou asks, what was the methodology or research or experience that informed your approach to writing the big book?
Yeah, I think what informed my approach is that, there's some books where they're very kind of theoretical and you read it, maybe even feel inspired, but afterwards you're like, what do I even do? And the reality is that doing rich relationships well, it's not just one thing. There are, several really important things. I just didn't want to miss out on any of them. And so I think I just approached this topic with so much depth and there's so much nuance that I just wanted it to be comprehensive, and therefore it's a big book. Also to share with people, I'm not saying that this is what you should do, but this is what I did. I do not have an audiobook right now. I do not have a hardcover book. I purposely chose to only do paperback and have people like really focus on that because every product has a different ISBN number, and to be on the bestsellers list, it's by the ISBN number. So I didn't want to have some people do this and then that and then this and then that, and then we lose sales. I do realize that there are some people who are like, well, I only listen to audiobook or I only want it on my Kindle, and that's fine. They can, get it later. But for me, it just felt better to just do paperback, and audiobook will be available later.
I'm glad you're doing audio because it's really important to do, but I
It
understand your
is.
strategy. Yeah.
Hmm.
Michelle asks, is the book designed to read serially or can you bounce around the book to meet your needs? So do you have to read it in order?
Yeah, you don't have to read it in order. I think there's a benefit. There's also some parts that might not be as relevant. So, for example, I have, a whole section on building your personal brand because part of building rich relationships is being someone where someone hears your name, where they look you up online, they're like, "Oh yeah, I want to meet that person," right? And so there is some, powerful teaching on that, but I have certain friends where they're like personal brand experts or they are already in a place where like they don't necessarily need that as much as the other pieces. So people don't have to read every word in order to get value from it. I mean, we have a very like thorough table of content, so you can jump into the part that you like the best. But to get the full benefit, I mean, you definitely want to read a good portion of the book because there's going to be things that you have not seen anywhere else that are inside the book, especially from the personal development side. So some people actually we can drop this link in the chat, selenasoo.com/BMS, which stands for Breaking My Silence. I don't even know if AJ knows this, but a couple of years ago I wrote this article and it was called I was in an emotionally abusive relationship, even as a smart and successful woman. And I talked about something that was, a secret of mine until I told everyone about it, which was that I was in this really scary relationship with someone who started off as a romantic partner who kind of wined and dined and love bombed me and was my number one fan, who started to get his hands into my business and start to control my business and control me and the finances and all these different things. And it was a very, very scary situation that I broke free of. And so for me, like, I have always naturally been the kind of person where, like, I love helping people. I'm a giver. And it's easy for me to spot, the opportunities, the ways that I can support people. So I was good at that. That was one of my relationship building strengths. One of my relationship building weaknesses is that I did not have good boundaries. So I was the kind of person that once I let someone into my inner circle and felt an emotional connection with them, whether it was a team member, a colleague, a mentor, a business partner, a friend, or whoever, that once I let them into my inner circle and had that emotional bond, I did not know how to remove them if they were not healthy, And the reality is that you actually don't know, when you meet someone for the first time, there can be flags, there can be signs, and sometimes they're not visible in like a 30-minute conversation, right? So we have to be careful where we're like, oh my gosh, like I know I just met her yesterday, but she's my new business bestie. Oh, I know that we haven't interviewed anyone else, but I'm just really feeling it and we can just stop the search, and let's give him the role or let's make him the business partner or let's whatever, right? And then we have these moments where we feel foolish and we're like, okay, I really didn't know who this person was and I gave them access to my network. I paid them all this money and they're not someone that follows through, right? So there's something about patience and relationship building because people do reveal themselves over time, but double underline time, like time has to happen, right? Things have to unfold. And so I wasn't really good at giving things time. I got excited really quickly. I sped things up. I, got emotionally entangled in unhealthy situations and I allowed those situations and relationships to linger way past their expiration date. And so in the book, I have a lot of things about relationship red flags, understanding your own relationship patterns and looking at the mistakes you've made, and why you might be energetically attracting the wrong kinds of relationships. Because the thing is, like, you can be so good, but then you have like one, two, or three toxic relationships, and it's not a happy life. You know what I mean? So we really want to clean that up because if you have let, bad relationships into your life, which we all have at some point, that's part of being human, but you can't trust yourself to create a boundary to stop it, then you're actually blocking rich relationships because there's a part of you that doesn't feel safe in relationship and letting people in. And so maybe and I was this person, right? It was like I could come off as, and I still am a little bit, like I might come off as more guarded, but once I know you and love you, it's like I'm just like, oh my God, you're my person, like anything I can do, right? And so we just have to be aware of our patterns so we can be really intentional about creating healthy, safety, and abundant relationships for ourselves.
I love that because when you have that objective, I really need help with this or that, you might ignore those flags. And I remember reading in your book about patience. That's gonna stick with me.
Yeah.
I have to tell people about this, and this is a good segue what you just said. This is what I found perhaps the most helpful aside from scripts and thinking there's a lot about how to talk to people you haven't talked to, how to initiate those conversations, which I know is a really big question for a lot of authors. But I love the six circles of connection.
Favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, so innermost, treasured, active, distant, disconnected, and unconnected. And I just I love that you put that in the context of it helps you manage your energy, prioritize, and avoid burnout. That is a direct quote. And I think that's the part that people don't know. So they don't know how to start it, but then they don't know how to think about everybody in terms of how much am I devoting to each person. So the
It's
six
my
are
favorite framework in the book. It's the
it's
one I
so
use the
good.
most every day, pretty much.
You use it every day? How do you use it every
Like
day?
it's just like it's always in the back of my mind, you know? And maybe it's not like I use it every single day, but when I think about my best friend, I think circle one. Or this is like a circle, or like this person's really showing up as like a circle two or a circle three. So maybe it's not daily, maybe it's weekly, but it's extremely transformational. Everybody, I mean, if there's time, I'd love to break it down for
Yes,
people.
break it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when you think about, relationships, right? There are certain people. Okay. So as humans, we're all created equal, right? We know that every single person matters. But when it comes to relationships, there's going to be certain people where there's a natural synergy, there's an abundant energy. They care about you, they show up for you, you care about them, right? And so there are going to be certain relationships you want to prioritize more. I think that when we just think about like, oh my gosh, all these people, it can be overwhelming. And it can really help as a mental framework to think about, okay, where do they fall in the six circles of connection? So, everyone, number one is what AJ said, it's your innermost circle. So, the innermost circle typically has, I mean, honestly, it's like usually like one to three. Sometimes it could be six. Sometimes it could be zero. I've had times in my life where it was, I don't know, zero or one, right? And so these are people who are basically doing life with you. These are the people that you can be your most full, messiest self. No matter what, they're not going anywhere. This could be your number one very best friend who's always got your back. This might be your life partner. This might be a family member that you talk to regularly. It could be a therapist who is on the pulse week by week of what you're going through. They truly know you. Um, yeah, that's a circle one relationship. So they're on the pulse, usually usually at least weekly or like a couple of times a month. They know what's happening, right? If someone's like, "Oh, I haven't talked to AJ in ages. What's going on with her?" They would have something to say. They would be like, "Oh, I've got no idea," right? So that's circle one. Okay. Now there's circle two. So these are treasured relationships. So maybe they're not on the pulse of your, life, but on the weekly, but these are like soul family. If it's a circle two relationship, you know that if you reached out to them and said help, they would be like, yes, how can I help? Please tell me, right? For circle two, it is a pleasure and a priority for them to show up for you. Otherwise, they shouldn't be in circle two. I do talk about like giving without attachment, but for circles one and two, like these are your people. It is healthy to expect your closest relationships to show up for you when it matters. If you texted a circle two and you were like, hey, I need to speak to you tonight. Like, can you carve out like 15-20 minutes for me, please? They would move things around. They would really try to make it happen, right? So that's how you know someone's in your circle too. Priority, they care about you. They're like soul family. You trust them so much. You treasure them, right? So these are your treasured connections. Now let's talk about circle three. So this is the largest circle in your rich network. And so these are active relationships. If someone is an active relationship in circle three, they're someone that you trust, admire, respect, there's values alignment. There's someone that you absolutely would, love to invite them to the party if there's space. There's someone that you could recommend. Oh, you two should meet each other. Maybe you would endorse them. Maybe you would, like you're willing to vouch for them, right? There's that trust, there's that familiarity, there's that comfort, and they're people that you care about and you're interested in what's happening in their world. You see them pop up on social media. Oh, that's so cool. She's doing that. Oh, that's awesome, right? So those are your circle 3 relationships. So, and circle 2, I would say might be a dozen or so people or half a dozen or more, but it's still smaller, right? The first is like usually 1 to 3, and then it's maybe like 6 to 12 or so. And then the larger network, I mean, that could be 30, 40, 50, 100, right? In terms of like active connections, people that you would like invite to a party or something. Now there's circle 4. So circle 4 are disconnected relationships, right? Or distant. No, not disconnected. Sorry, that's another one. It's distant. So there's 3 reasons why someone might be in circle 4. This is the one. This is like my favorite part of the framework. So someone might be in circle 4 because like literally you just met them yesterday. And so therefore it's not a rich relationship yet, like a rich relationship, right? So you don't know them. They're still a stranger. And over time, they can become a 1, 2, or 3, but on day 1 or even, the first week, likely they're still going to be circle 4, right? Unless maybe you're at like a 10-day yoga retreat and you're talking every single day and doing like deep dive exercises, then okay, maybe like things get sped up, right? So you don't really know them that well. That's why they're circle 4. Another reason why they're in circle 4 is maybe you've known them for some time, but if you're honest, there's a little bit of a values misalignment. Maybe every time you talk to them, they're down in the dumps. They're always complaining about things, like the vibe is off. Or maybe this is someone that's like completely unreliable and you can never count on them to follow through. You just like can't really trust them. There's a variety of reasons why you feel like, I need to keep a little bit of distance. Like they're still in my network and they could still be a rich relationship. Maybe, they choose to buy copies of your book, or they make an introduction, or they're talking about you on social and there's goodwill between you, but this is not a close connection. This is not like an active person that you feel super duper comfortable with, right? Um, Now, another reason why someone might be in circle 4 is you're like, you know what? I'm just at a place where like I'm maxed out. Like I got all my rich relationships. My circle 1, 2, and 3 are full to the brim. There aren't more people that I'm looking to bring into my world where I can really show up with any kind of presence for them. And so you can still be friendly. They are that acquaintance, there can be that goodwill, but they're just going to stay in circle 4 for now. Now, then there's circle 5, and I hope everyone's like thinking of people and you're like, ooh, I can see like what circle like they go into, right? Thank you, Natalie. So circle 5 is disconnected. So usually this is someone, there's usually 2 reasons. One is they have betrayed you in some way, or this is a toxic relationship. You've tried having the conversation, but after a while, you just get worn down. It's like, you've almost accepted, I don't think things are going to change. I don't think I can turn this into a healthy dynamic. And if I'm honest with myself, I literally don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. And so I need to put them in circle 5. It could also be someone that you don't know well. Like there's someone who is very well known and successful and has like these big events. And, you know, I know that this person's very litigious, has sued a lot of people, including friends of mine. And even though this person is so charming and so powerful and so successful and so complimentary to me, I'll be nice to her, but I'm not accepting the invite to attend the event, to be on the podcast, to be on the stage. I'm not going to invite her to my intimate things or really anything, personally, because I don't want to get close. I don't want chaos and drama in my life. And I don't want my friends to feel unsafe thinking that this is a person that's like an active relationship for me. So, nothing's happened to me, but I've chosen to put this person in circle 5. Now, and then there's circle 6. So this is unknown. So this is everyone else out in the world. And maybe you know of each other, but you haven't actually talked. So everyone can be organized somewhere in the 6 circles. And just to be super clear, this is a mental framework. You don't have to tell people I've moved you from circle 2 to circle 4. This is for you. Because I remember Sherry Salata, she's a transformation guide. She used to work with Oprah as her co-president and executive producer. I heard her say in a video, maintaining a friendship not rooted in your truth keeps you out of integrity. maintaining a friendship not rooted in your truth keeps you out of integrity. And I just had shivers up and down my arms because when I looked at myself, I was out of integrity. Not because I was a bad person, but I was allowing myself to be in relationships that were not in alignment with my truth, Whether that's someone where it's like, wow, this person is like not who they say they are. They they're not good at their work. They're a relationship expert, and yet they have terrible relationship with their husband, and now like we have this strained relationship, right? When there's like a misalignment, it's like, well, I can't be that like full on friend and number one supporter and being their friend and listening to all their problems and being tapped in to support them. It doesn't quite feel in alignment to me. Or a service provider, it's like, yeah, they're a creative genius, but there's always drama, or they're always late, or we're always making allowances, or it feels like we're working for them when like we're the ones paying them the money, right? And so I was like, oh God, like I have like multiple relationships that are not in alignment with my truth. And so with the circles, you don't have to say to someone, okay, I'm expelling you from my network, but I've been treating them like a circle too, but I think I need to put them in circle four. And so I'll still be friendly, but I'm not going to accept the invitation. When I need the help, I'm going to explore other options and recommendations. And there's just different things that you can do. We talk about it in the book to create that distance. And then you feel alignment within yourself. Now, I do have people like my best friends, they're like, I'm circle one. I'm like, yes, thank you for being my circle one. But most people don't know what circle they fall into.
Yeah, good advice. I cannot express to y'all how important that framework is to
Yeah.
not feeling overwhelmed by how
Mhm.
do you, because you can't manage everybody equally and you can't treat them all equally. And
Yeah.
that frees you up so you have time to devote yourself to the people that are in those top three circles. Okay, I want to get to a couple questions because we before we close. But before we do that, I want to make sure you all know that you all have access to that special offer, the 197 offer from Selena. I'm gonna get the name. What is it called
It's a
again?
million dollar network special. Yeah. And if it's something that feels aligned, if you're like, you know what, I want to go deeper into rich relationships, this is a book that could help people. I mean, rich relationships apply to every single person. So there's probably lots of options of who you could gift the books to. And then if you want to do this with your own book, then you can follow my journey and see how I market this and like the sequence and how I roll it out. Because I think everyone here should do a package that's 97 to 197 where people are getting, $3 to $5.
So I want to get these two questions. One is from Tina, who just wants to know from the book, in the book, do you explain how to start from zero when you have,
Yeah,
yeah, and I know,
zero,
yeah,
nothing. Yeah,
yeah, she does. When I say this book is comprehensive, that's not an exaggeration. This
yeah,
book is like, I mean, you'll keep it forever. You'll use it
yeah.
forever. Yeah. And then
Mhm.
Brian asks, any advice on using existing relationships to build new ones? I'm thinking about some
Yeah.
like a referral model or relationship building. Any ideas how to do that?
Yeah. So the easiest thing is to create like free invitations for people. So an example is I host rich relationship mixers. And, they're very curated, they're invite only. And so I'll ask friends, hey, do you know anyone that might enjoy my upcoming rich relationships mixer? The theme is XYZ. I would love to invite them and personally connect with them, right? Or I think about, my friend Chantel, who AJ knows. She is someone that is a storytelling expert, public speaking coach, and so much more. And I have, because I'm well known for publicity, I have a lot of people that are interested in, visibility, right? And so she used to ask me, like, hey, do you know somebody that would be interested in my center stage offer? And that's a very specific thing. They have to fly out to Kelowna, Canada. They have to pay a certain amount of money. They have to be ready at that exact moment. And that was always like a harder thing. I was like, let me think about it. It's like so specific. And it didn't feel like a natural thing to share because for most people, it's not relevant to them. When she said to me, Selena, one of my favorite things to do is storytelling sessions. It's like a 45-minute session, and I channel someone's story and I can distill it into a powerful message. And I experienced it, right? People's like jaws drop to the floor when it happens. And she was like, I would love to gift them for free. Um, if there are people that you know. And I was like, well, you know what I could do is as we get new clients in our publicity program, because they're paying, 10 or $13,000, we could say one of the bonuses that they can get is they get the one-on-one storytelling session with you, because that can really enhance the work that we're doing together. Very complimentary. It's a good supplement. And so people were doing that. And I also trust Chantel. She's not someone who is like, going to then like hard pitch them anything. She values building relationships with the right people, supporting other kind of thought leaders. And she knows that when you have a relationship, someone might ask the question, how can I work with you deeper? Or I would love to give you a testimonial. I would love to this. And so I just started connecting Chantel to all these people. Um, I also did, yeah, oh, this is another, I want to share this idea because it's like, this is like Chantel helping me out again. So we were like boxering like on a weekend. I was like walking to like the smoothie store and she was like, I know, because I was having a moment where I was like, I don't know if I can sell 4,000 bucks. I mean, it's like, I know I can sell it, but it's just like so much work. But I want to get on the USA Today list and that's the number that I'm going for. And she was like, well, our friend Jen Kem, did a lot of VIP days, but I know for you as an introvert, like you don't want to do like endless VIP days. I don't think you need to do it. So how can we come up with a really special bulk package? Because, okay, let me tell you, like my 5K and 10K offers are not moving that much. But I think in part because it's like, it's not an easy entry point. I don't need that many people, but I was like, oh, that's not really moving. And we have the $1,000 one, and there are some people buying that. But I feel like there's something else. And she's like, yeah, there's like something in the like the 1,500 to like $3,000 range. And then I just realized, so I'm really good at like creating win-win situations. And there's a company called Workplay Branding. And I basically said to them, like, I was like, let me help you. Like everyone needs to know about you. Let me like essentially be like your head of like biz dev and let me just like connect you to all the right people. But they were in a place like as many startups are, they might not have like a ton of cash, but I also know like what it costs to have like a PR or biz dev expert open up doors and basically save you 3 years by just putting you in touch with all the right people right away. And so we came up with a price point for the services, and then we did a values exchange, like a barter essentially. But then what I realized is like, okay, so I have a couple photo shoots for myself. And while the credits are so amazing, I realize it's going to take me honestly like 12 to 15 years of quarterly photo shoots to like redeem all the credits. So it's like, if I don't find a way to use these credits, then it's actually not even like, it's not cash, right? It's just like, you know, an idea. So I created like these different packages. I created an inner circle special. I'm creating another thing called the workplay branding special. It's actually brand new. Oh, I'll drop that in the chat because it's like
And
so
we can also
we can
send it in
send
a
it.
follow-up
Send it to
email.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll send it in a follow-up email. Actually, you know what? For this group, I'll share the inner circle special with anyone because that's even better. So the inner circle special, let me share with you what it is. So basically, when people work with workplay branding, usually they have to commit to like a 1 year contract, which is like multiple photo shoots at $6,000. So everyone gets like one full day photo shoot. They don't have to do the contract, right? So it's the one full day photo shoot. You'll have over like several hundred images for your brand, whether you need to refresh your website, you're rebranding, you want photos with your book, you want photos from your client event, like whatever you want, right? So you get the full day photo shoot. You get the storytelling session with Chantel. She actually gave it to me for free because she understands the value of it. And then, so that's like the photo shoot's like a $1,500 value, which is actually low because a lot of photo shoots are even more than that, like for like several hundred images all day, unlimited. You can break it up into like, you can have a friend there with you. So if you're doing like a 6 or 7 or even 8 hour photo shoot, it could be like 2 or 3 people, you can split the cost, right? So there's that. You get the storytelling session with Chantel. And then you get a one-on-one rich relationships intensive with me. So I was kind of positioning it to like, everyone here, like my inner circle peeps, like you have things that you're looking to launch into the world. And there's going to be times where you need to lean on your rich relationship network. And I would like to be one of your rich relationships that that you can count on. Like I'm always here for you, but we can actually do like an official intensive where whenever you need it the most, I'm going to be there for you. I will show up guaranteed and I will help you. And this rich relationship intensive never expires. So, so the value that's like over $6,000 and we sold it for $1,500. And so my reasoning was, well, one, I need to find a way to like get these work plays out there. Two, Chantel, I figured out how to get that, complimentary. And for me, honestly, if there's anyone that I really care about, whether they're already inner circle or they're like so highly recommended and I want to see them win, I'm happy to give them an out. It feels energizing for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. So we did that $1,500 package and so many people are buying it. And so it's super win-win. Like my friends were like, well, I was going to buy like 20 books and then they also get 25 bucks. So they were like, I was going to buy 20 or 25 books anyways. So I get my books. I get to get a free photo shoot and I always need
I mean, it's
photos.
very generous. It's very comprehensive, much like the book.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kids. There's just so much in there. So listen, we're gonna give you guys all info on every single thing Selena said in the follow-up email. With we'll also have a link to the recording so you can get down everything she's saying. Um, thank you to everybody who put in the chat that they already bought the book. I really think this is your life is gonna be changed by reading it, and I don't say that lightly. I promise you I don't. I'm super jaded. I don't like a lot of things. This I love. I think it's really gonna help. Selena, I'm so grateful that you gave us this time, and I'm so excited to see how your launch plays out. And
Thank you.
I wish you all the best with it. I know it's going to be a life changer for people.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm just dropping my IG in the chat if people want to stay connected. And if you have a follow-up question that you didn't have a chance to ask me, or it pops into your mind a day or two later, I'm happy just to send you a voice note on IG and support you. It's also good feedback for me in terms of where people get stuck and where they need help. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me on IG.
Awesome. Thank you, Selena.
Thank
We'll
you,
see you.
everyone.